Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Phoenix, Wright, Trials and Tribulations of Chaos Counseling. Let's go!
I'm sure this has already been mentioned, but I love that there's coffee cups in the background.
Right?
Yes.
It makes me happy.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Yes, Your Honor.
Wait, where in the background?
In the slidey bit.
Oh!
Yeah, there's coffee cups.
Oh, I never noticed that.
I thought for a legit second you were saying like behind Godot.
Yes, there are coffee cups.
He's that floating god.
You can't see the coffee cups? Oh no.
I can't believe we're looking at this again.
I admit that I didn't really understand it before, but I get it now. That's why I believe this sketch shows the truth.
Very well.
Me and Jesse are just being
Ghost
idiots.
spirits of coffee.
I'm sorry.
Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory.
We don't have like any lights.
What exactly is the sketch trying to show?
We're just being dinks. It's fun.
I don't think old Whiskerface is gonna forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix, look carefully and think it over. The sketch on my Larry Stoneham is... Something is obviously funny about this sketch.
I'm not an art critic, but even I can see that.
No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Larry Stoneham stated it over and over. That the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
It contradicts reality?
Ha! This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again.
Poke.
How dare you?
Okay, Trites, what exactly contradicts reality as we know it?
Oh, it's so small. Thank you, game, because this part is picky.
Wait!
Please?
Yeah!
Huh.
It's this wire connected to the bridge.
Let's do
what?
it first straight!
The wire?
It's really big.
Ha! Is that the thing that contradicts reality?
It is indeed.
Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Well, my voice actor chokes on his own spit.
Oh.
Show us something that will... Photo of Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But in the actual Dusky Bridge,
Jumping Jehoshaphat!
Yay.
wires are below the guard wires.
What? Yes, it sounded more like the judge choking my bed. Order! 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 The sketch is somewhat different than what was depicted in the photo. However, isn't that likely the artist just saw it wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong?
Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong.
No, I'm just right!
With
I
someone
thought you
like
were
Clarice,
Phoenix, right?
with someone like Clarice, I admit a mistake
you
is
for
a
the pity
definite
laugh.
possibility.
That was the joke I was trying to make so it works. Haha.
But then it begs a question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
He's my friend. Of course I do.
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Larice was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Larice must have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why you remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back. Can't see how it relates.
But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
Oh! No way!
Louis Stoneham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
Godot unintentionally.
That was bad prosecuting.
Yep.
So then, this sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Louis Stoneham's sketch is like this.
Whee!
This is how it should actually look.
Holy crap, I love this part!
I love this case.
It's a good case.
The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right, just like a pendulum.
Frick yeah! Pendulum summon and go!
Yu-Gi-Oh reference.
Yeah.
Of all the things to say, a pendulum? That'll ruin the game as we know it.
The bridge was burning to a crisp, and there was no way to get across it. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used a burning bridge to get the body across to the other side, and the pendulum was the only way to get it done.
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff.
Yes, that sounds right.
In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead.
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the criminal would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then the criminal... They didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of the criminal.
What?
I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
Your giggles.
I love this part, I'm sorry.
So good.
And the meaning of this is?
If you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Well, that's just my nose hair. Oh!
No, your judge is referring to your wife.
Oh.
Damn. That doesn't make sense.
I don't follow that burn, actually.
A beard is referred to... That's what a beard is referred to someone of the opposite sex that a gay person is dating to pass as a heterosexual.
Oh.
I learned something new today.
Me too.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay,
Onward we go.
With this new knowledge.
Yes.
this is one of those wires from the bridge.
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Donham's body. Dang.
Yeah.
That was almost cinematic.
I freaking love this part so much.
Now, how he got it to loosen at the right amount of time is another question entirely.
Because there's simply no other way to move the body.
How
I
about
think there's actually a knot that does that.
Oh, really? There's a knot designed for that?
Probably.
Go, 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 go. Chug, chug, chug,
I'm
chug.
gonna do it again. Don't make me do it again.
Mr. Godot!
Still
One
going.
big, that cup's bigger than you think.
Oh, no, he's just getting a new one off screen.
Seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question.
Keep going, guys.
Well, good.
It seems that the odds of the rope being readily available were very high. Like everyone involved with this case.
You guys after the episode. I don't want to derail.
So I suppose it's not an impossibility after all? Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Right. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung like that on a pendulum?
Well, I'm trying. If memory serves.
Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So then, that was the spot where the criminal...
Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would have dropped on the opposite bank at approximately this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet, huh?
That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
That's...
Yes, it's blood-stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off Miss Elise Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed, I believe it's already marked on the overhead map. Crystal was found. Oh!
Precisely, Your Honor.
I love how they made it like
Spot.
a new sprite just for the jewel.
Yeah.
In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
Shit.
Holy crap.
Oh, snap.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You've proven us with the way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright!
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
What's the meaning of this, Mr. Godot?
It's not the first time.
I love that we could just see that sprite though, because I love
Yeah.
Frequency.
That was a dark and bitter guess you made, Trite. But you forgot about one thing.
And what would that be?
Cream and sugar. The aroma.
Huh?
A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma.
Which smells so good.
A pig can
I
make
smell
that
coffee,
claim
I love
too.
I love the
Um,
smell of coffee.
The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more?
That's coffeeist. If a criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Trite?
Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person unless it's multiple man. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice.
Very well then, if you please. Mr. Wright, who was the person that received the body at the Hazakura Temple side?
Whoa. Wait, what?
It can only be you, Sister Iris.
Huh? Ah! But what?
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Trite, were you even listening to the witness's testimony?
Yes, and it was full, and it was shit.
On that night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
I haven't forgotten. But have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Oh, strange indeed. This is almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
Mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I've established how the body was moved during the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred Something you should have already known.
No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum.
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection.
Are you serious, trite? You mean this woman is?
There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know I've been sick to my stomach during this trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is... I wonder what it is.
I wonder.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I never thought I'd had to utter your name again. Let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Hawthorne?
Sister Iris had a twin sister.
Sorry.
It scared me away.
And you're looking at her, Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless.
Ha! It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. I just happen to have this on me for convenient reasons.
You're welcome.
Oh yes, I remember now. What case? 5 years ago. Bitch!
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
I have a hot rod for you to jam up your ass. Hi, Pain.
Sorry, I was trying to process what you said and think of a good comeback, and then you ruined my thoughts.
Yep.
I got nothing for that one.
mine.
Oh no, the disgust is all mine.
This is a flashback, Your Honor.
Kind of liked it when we were totally going along with it the first time.
According to
Kinda fun.
this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says here execution was carried out last month.
What a good new way to start out 2019.
Yep.
So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom.
Okay.
What?
In this courtroom specifically.
Yeah.
In particular.
Do I need to get rid of my death mask? It has
Yep.
no meaning here.
Yep, time to throw it out.
Order! Order! Order!
Into the sin bin.
Wait a moment.
Why do you have a sin bin?
My sister.
Why don't you?
She's already dead. You belong in the sin bin.
Okay, I'll see myself out. All right.
Sit. You all people should already understand. After all, blood of the master of the crane channeling technique flows within that body.
The crane channeling technique? Where have I heard that?
Last game, doofus.
And that's
That's
right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
Sacre bleu!
Holy crap!
We're in the world of fantasy.
What an exciting story, but quite impossible. They're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to the temple where her twin sister Iris was.
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
Objection.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens.
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
Two of them?
Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means that the iris that was at wrong voice.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her. Namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Do you even know what you're saying, Wright? It's all channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it is true that you found plans to talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris.
What?
Nani?
Nani?
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. The meeting Sister Bikini and the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. Then it was later that the body was moved by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found the Iris in a room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that.
That was weird. Sorry, my phone kicked me off the internet, apparently.
Rude.
Thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
Something still seems off. Way off. Still not convinced that the Iris here is the same one from the other night.
Ha! I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous.
That's my motto, yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
we do.
That's my MO.
And we're usually right.
Yep.
Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia, somehow switch places.
Switch places?
Godot, you said it, not me.
To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know that unless we can confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple. Have there been any chances for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
Your Honor, I think there might have been a one chance.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who was it? What do you mean, when was it? Who gave a murder? Oh, no, that's what I mean. Give the murder suspect time to move about freely like that. Oh, I'm sorry, Edgeworth.
Sorry. No, you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris a chance to freely move about was...
Sorry, Edward.
We love you.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
Earthquake?
Yay, Bikini Boys! Make me motion, shake a
How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
I got motion, sick play.
How dare you make fun of my trauma this way?
I'm sorry.
You know what? That's a fair point.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
Rubble, rubble, rubble. Baseball.
What?
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here. No judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice. Why do I have the need to vomit all of a sudden?
Motion sickness, blah.
I guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession.
Hey, girl.
That's one of my rules.
Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired.
Holy crap, I love this.
It's so good.
So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me.
What? What is going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. Never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this.
Not like this. Not like this.
Yeah, like this.
But this time, I'll end it.
I see.
For her and for myself.
We will see you guys next time.
Next time.
Next time.
Next time.
Fuck all y'all!
Not prepared.